Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dear Dream Diary with your host, Ashley. This is episode 10. The title of this episode is Battle of Lands. Before we get into the episode, I think I briefly mentioned in my last recording that I wanted to change the title of my podcast. I wanted to talk about that. I like the title. I do. But I feel like when somebody hears Dear Dream Diary, they're going to think that it's like some teenager sharing their diary logs. I don't really want people to have that impression. I want people to know that, I guess I have to think. Well, for one, I originally started this podcast focused on dreams and dreamland, and it is still there. Like the main focus is on my dreams and dream interpretation and me trying to get back to lucid dreaming. But it's also about finding inner love, inner peace, getting to know yourself, the spiritual journey that I'm on, tuning into intuition, becoming closer to the universe. So that's kind of everything my podcast is about. I don't want somebody to see the title Dear Dream Diary and think it's just some young teenager spewing all her most inner thoughts and secret crushes and everything. So I'm kind of leaning away from the title of Dear Dream Diary, but when I read my dreams, I'm still going to start with Dear Dream Diary just so that you know that I'm reading my dream. I also really enjoy saying that. But for my listeners, if you guys have any ideas on a name that relates to all my topics that will my target audience is people aged between 30 and 50 who are getting to know themselves or tuning into their intuition, or anybody who's really just trying to love themselves and love other people and get to know themselves and share their inner peace and inner love and inner self with everyone around them. And also anybody who's really trying to learn more about dreams. So if you guys have any name ideas, please send me any messages. I do have one in mind. I'm just not 100% set on it, and I want to be 100% set on it. I want to be like, that's the name. That's the name for it. So if you have any ideas, please send me any messages with your ideas. I'd really love that. And for anybody, I haven't had anybody message me a dream lately. I do have people with my coworkers and friends. They do come to me with their dreams, and I'm getting better at deciphering them. I'm getting better at interpreting them and knowing the meaning of them, or at least providing something close to what their subconscious mind is trying to tell them. So please, anybody who has a dream message, please message me. I would actually prefer if you sent a voice message. I don't know if you can send voice messages on Instagram. I don't use Instagram much. I'm 34. I'm a millennial. Millennials don't use Instagram. As much as society thinks that millennials do, we don't. We use Facebook. I did try to create a Facebook page for my podcast, but for some reason it was linking it to my personal account. I don't want everything I post on my personal account to go to my social media, so I was having some technical difficulties there. I will figure it out. I'm sure you can send voice messages on Instagram. Regardless, for those of you who do know me personally and have my personal Facebook account, please, if you want to send me a dream, I would prefer a voice message. If you're not comfortable with that, that is okay. You can just send me a regular text message and I will interpret your dream and send you any information I have about that. Now, I am recording this episode back to back with my other one, and I just kind of wanted to, when I re-listen to my episode, because I do that just to make sure that I'm not embarrassing myself, but I'm starting to just get past it and post the episode instead of re-listening to it. I'm moving past that. I'm trusting myself to know that these episodes I'm recording them and saying what I'm saying at that time for a reason. But anyways, so when I re-listened to the episode, I kind of listened to the dream again when I was reading it. And so for those of you who may not be listening to the episodes back to back and you're kind of taking a break in between episodes, the last dream was the obstacle survival course dream, where in the beginning I was, I just lost my train of thought. In the beginning, I was in the obstacle course, and the obstacle course turned into a scene where I was at a bank, and I felt like I was free from the obstacle course when I was in this bank. And because I didn't stay in this bank, which was an investment bank, I have to say that word because that's important with what I'm going to say next. Because I didn't stay in this investment bank, I was thrown back into the obstacle course, and I had to get past I was thrown back into the obstacle course, but it was like a cut scene to me racing to my car, trying to get away from this scary, unknown investment bank. And I made it to my car after searching through thousands of cars and set my alarm off and found it. When I went to get in my car, this banker guy comes in my car with me and is really adamant that I sign this paperwork for this investment bank for myself and for my children. And I'm still not fully comfortable with it. And I tell this guy no. And then he sends me back into the obstacle course. And all these zombie-like people start not attacking me, but like coming to my car. And I'm like overwhelmed by the amount of zombies that are coming to my car and kind of grabbing. So then I jumped awake. And I was just kind of, when I was re-listening to the episode in the dream, and I reread it too, I just had a thought that, again, correlates to my message from my last episode, that you need to take the time to focus on the obstacle or stair that you're on now. And maybe I was so focused on getting out of the obstacle that I missed the opportunity to I'm trying to think of what the proper way to say this. I'm at a loss of words right now. In the dream, I was so focused on getting out of the obstacle, I missed the opportunity to embellish something new. And that something new in this dream would be to invest. And I think what this means for me, like in this dream, it's like investing in myself and my children and my family. And I had this dream a while ago too. Like this was a little, like these dreams that I'm reading are from a while ago. I actually haven't been writing my dreams down. I've just been consumed with everything else that's happening externally. I'm not focusing on what's happening internally. Anyways, so this dream happened a while ago. And again, what I think it's saying is that I was so focused on finishing the obstacle and getting to the finish line that I missed the opportunity for something new or new growth or just something important. I missed the opportunity for something important or something new. And again, because this was an investment, I'm doing air quotes. You guys can't see it, but I'm doing it. This was an investment bank. I think what this dream is telling me is that I'm too focused on getting to the end of the obstacle. I'm missing the opportunity to invest in myself and my family. But I'm doing that now. Again, this dream was a while ago. I've, in such a short period of time, my mindset has changed drastically. I'm taking the time to invest in myself and my children. And it's actually crazy how awake I am and aware I am now of a multitude of different things that I had such a different outlook before. And you guys are with me through this process, this journey, this awareness, this awakening. It's a life-changing process. And for anybody who's trying to start a spiritual journey, I think the first thing you need to do is tell yourself that you are important, you are loved, you are cherished, you are valued, and you matter. And that is a very hard thing for many people to do, is to realize how important they are to themselves, as well as others around them. But I think that is a starting point, is to tell yourself that, is that you matter and you are important, and you need to invest in yourself and getting to know yourself and your inner self. And then once you start, again, I'm at like the baby steps of this, and I've become so much more loving for everyone around me and everything around me, and caring. And I was a caring, loving person before, but I did have a negative mindset towards a lot of things that were happening in my life. And just that alone, changing your mindset on things and having a more positive mindset on things, is life-changing. For example, I think I mentioned it in my last episode, I don't know, but I would always say stuff like, oh, of course this would happen, or, yep, sure, just go ahead, add to my plate, things like that. I do have to say lately, I have not said any of those things. I'm actually happy and enjoying the process that I'm going through right now, because I know the universe is teaching me something, and I'm going to learn something from this process I'm going through right now. I know there's something to be learned, and I can't wait till I learn what that is. And in the meantime, I can wait. So in the meantime, I will enjoy the process of learning that, or getting to learn that. So just take the time to realize that you are important and you do matter. I'm going to get into this dream. This is a short dream. I have not pulled any cards yet, because I find that when I reread the dreams, I get different interpretations as I'm reading them. So I'm going to pull the cards after I read the dream. So here we go. Dear Dream Diary. In this dream, there was native land people and city people. The two could never talk or coincide with each other. I was stuck choosing between the two. I kept going back and forth between the two different territories. The chief from the native land people came after the city people, breaking into their houses and destroying their property. He was retaliating from something that happened a long time ago. I was afraid that the city leader would retaliate by burning all the native land and tree houses that they lived in. End here. So again, when I'm reading these dreams, most of the dreams that I'm reading are from a while ago. I had them, but I do get the images of what was happening in the dreams as I'm reading them. So this was like a war between native people and city people. And I was stuck between which people I should be living with, or whose side I should be choosing. And I don't remember what happened. Like, I don't remember what the city chief or city leader did to the native chief, like the land people. I call it land people and the city people because in the dream, the land people actually lived in tree houses, like wooden tree houses, and built from, like, all the houses were built from nature and everything like that. And then, of course, city people is typical city people. So I don't know in this dream what the city leader did to the land chief in order for the land chief to retaliate and start attacking the city people. And I remember, like, waking up, and I didn't choose. In the dream, I didn't choose. And I remember waking up being confused, and I felt heartbroken and sad because I didn't want either of the parties to be doing that. I wanted them to come together and reconcile the things that happened in the past and move forward and past it. So I'm going to look at my dream cards to see what card could potentially relate to this dream. And then I'm going to read the meaning of it. And I'm also going to do the proper process of pulling an oracle card. And it does say, once you kind of find, I'm going to pull this landscapes places card because that relates to it. I'm going to see if there's another one, potentially. Maybe there is another one. But anyway, so once you kind of get a meaning or relation from the dream, you're supposed to pull an oracle card. And as you're going through the oracle cards or shuffling them, you're supposed to ask Spirit, what message do I have to learn from this dream? And then the oracle card guides you with an answer. So that is the proper process of these dream cards and oracle card deck that I have. And again, the only card that I kind of find that relates to it is the landscapes places card. So I'm going to read that. And that is card number 8. So I'm just going through my book here. So landscapes places. Landscapes and places in the world of your dreams mirror your inner emotional landscape. Mountains, Alps, beaches, lost while traveling, cities, hotels, tourist destinations, caves, and desert. The setting in your dream is a vivid clue to what's going on inside of you. Familiar settings such as home and work are relatively easy to interpret because they explore work-home feelings. If you are struggling in real life with inner conflict, then the landscape will be very different to your familiar environment. So I'm going to read that again. If you are struggling in real life with inner conflict, then the landscape will be very different to your familiar environment. Cityscapes indicate that you are exploring issues about your role as a social being and how you connect with others. Caves and deserts represent places of quiet and retreat where you re-energize after activity or trauma. The forest is a great metaphor for confusion. How many fairy tales are set in a forest where children get lost and obstacles have to be overcome? Think about how you will emerge from a short stint in this unsettling territory. Finding yourself acting in a theater or being in the audience is questioning your performance in real life. A modern shopping mall is the old-fashioned marketplace where choices and transactions take place, those you make in real life. Places you once knew are those phases of your life that were relevant at the time. You are revisiting them in your dream to reconnect with your past and find a new way forward. If you are in unfamiliar territory and feel lost, this indicates that you are feeling out of your depth in a new situation. Mountains are obstacles to climb, and country fields are telling you to get back to your instinctual nature, back to basics. Tourist destinations and holidays are about escapism and having a new perspective. Ultimately, your inner landscape will reflect the beauty and peace of your exterior landscape. So I reread the one sentence that said, if you are struggling in real life with inner conflict, then the landscape will be very different to your familiar environment. I reread that one just because I believe I had this dream before I Actually, this dream is fairly recent. I feel like in the last few months. And the last few months, I've made huge progress with my spiritual journey. So I think I had this dream around a time where I was still, up until about 3-4 weeks ago, I was questioning, is this inner voice I'm hearing actually sending me messages, or am I just making this stuff up? So I feel like in my waking life, I was struggling with inner conflict because I was questioning my inner self and my inner voice. So this is definitely relatable to that. Now I'm going to pull an oracle card, because the oracle card is supposed to give you guidance on what you're supposed to be doing or what you're supposed to be learning from this dream. So while I'm shuffling these oracle cards, I'm going to ask Spirit to guide me to what I am supposed to learn from this dream. And I'm also going to ask Spirit to protect my energy during this. Anytime I do these oracle readings or tarot readings, I do ask for guidance and protection. And I've been pretty successful since I've been starting to ask for guidance and protection. So I'm shuffling, and again, I'm asking Spirit to protect my energy and guide me to what I'm supposed to learn or what message I'm supposed to get from this dream. And then I typically wait until a card flies at me, or I hear or feel stop in my head. And I actually just had 2 cards, and I'm very intrigued with the cards that I pulled. So the first one that flipped over was Intuition. And it says, look at areas in your life that need decisive action. Search your heart for the right answers. Listen to messages that come from your intuition and follow through. Okay. Just said that I was questioning whether or not I was actually receiving messages or if it was just me making stuff up in my head. Again, the messages that are coming through are intuition or being connected to the universe or your inner self. So it's all related. So that card, Intuition, and I will read the detailed meaning. Sorry. I will read the detailed meaning in a minute, because I'm going to tell you the other card that I pulled, which is very intriguing. It says Renewal/Birth. Examine what you resist discarding, reassess what needs to be renewed, and given a fresh start. Clean up all the things around you that are cluttering your life. I'm going to read both of them. Typically, I only pull one card unless 2 come at me like that. Like these 2 just flipped over together. They went face up. I was shuffling and they both went face up. I think I'm going to start. I know that I'm not really comfortable with video, but I think I might do some episodes with video just so that you guys can see this happening as I'm talking. But I feel like I need to be maybe a little bit more comfortable. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. So, Intuition, card number 34. Let's read that card. And so it says, we rarely hear the inward music, but we are all dancing to it nevertheless. You are faced with making an important decision. Trust your intuition. Ask for a sign from your spirit to help you make the best choice. Trust that this is the right choice for you right now. Make your choice in full awareness. Use both logic and the heart to find the answer. Honor your gut instinct. Pay attention to your body's reaction. How does it feel when you lean towards one side of the solution? If that inner voice tells you to walk away from a person or situation, listen. Rely on your intuition to help you solve your dilemma. Trust that your body is speaking to you through your intuition. It is a reliable and accurate tool. Intuition needs to be cultivated. Practice it as often as you can. Life is about making choices, and it makes an interesting journey for those of you who choose the road less traveled. By making your intuition an ally, you will be led on the path that best suits your soul's purpose. Success in life depends on making conscious choices. guided by the spirit's representative intuition. Be guided by signs. If you have an urge to speak to someone or join a group or head in a certain direction, then do so. There's a message from your spirit. Synchronicity is everywhere. You just need to be ready and trust your intuition to act on it. So it's very interesting because, again, what I just said, that I feel like I was questioning my intuition at this time, if I have if this voice or these things that are coming through are actually something, or I'm making it up. This is relatable to that, but also like now, like I feel like this is still telling me to continue to listen to your intuition. And then the other card, 41, let's see how that relates. Every time the universe provides me information or answers, I'm just so shocked at how much I've been missing out on by not listening to the universe or tuning in to my intuition. It's crazy. Like, I'm just baffled, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this experience. I'm going to continue to embrace it. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy, guys. So the other card I pulled is renewal/birth. So this says, don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form. Wow. Okay. Interesting. All right. It's time to clean up the clutter and start again. In order for renewal to occur, you need to get rid of the old stuff to make way for the new. Your old life needs a spring clean, starting with your environment, your health, people, emotional baggage, sabotaging thoughts and memories. Okay, guys, come on. Are you listening to my episodes and what I'm saying in them? Like my last episode, I was talking about how my thoughts were negative thoughts. Even this episode, I might have mentioned it. I don't know, because I'm recording back to back, so I have them blended together. But I'm talking about how negative my thoughts were before. And I am starting to change those. I'm doing my spring cleaning right now, as it says. And again, this dream I had probably, I'd say 3 months ago. Before, even 2-3 months ago, I was still having those negative thoughts. I would say the last 2 to 3 weeks is when something switched. And I have not had especially the last 2 weeks. For sure, the last 2 weeks, I have not had a negative thought in my head. It's like I can't even process it. Like I don't know how to process a negative thought. Like I'm sarcastic sometimes, and I joke. I have a silly sense of humor, but even then, when I'm doing that, like I don't have negative thoughts in my head. This is another message, like a validation. The universe is telling me. So again, we're kind of traveling back in time here while I'm reading this dream and these cards. So the answer to this dream is in these cards, but this was like this dream I had like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. But it's so relevant because again, in my last episode, I was talking about negative thoughts and change and whatever else. And it's just wild. I'm going to continue reading because I feel like we're going to get more from this. So a clean slate is in order before you can emerge from your cocoon into your full beauty. The seeds to your reawakening are being planted after a period of darkness. In your struggle to be the person you have wanted to become, you have felt a split in your psyche. Okay, so that's what this dream, because I felt a split. I felt undecided on who, like if I wanted to go to the native people or the city people. Interesting. This is so accurate. I don't know if you guys, again, are listening to what I'm saying, because I talk a lot, but How accurate is this with everything that I've been saying? I'm going to continue reading. I still feel like we're going to get more. So values and perspectives have changed dramatically within you. I'm not reading this before I say those things, guys. Just so, I've never pulled this card before. I've never pulled this card. I've never read this. I'm reading this live to you right now. So this is just the universe telling me everything I've already said and have been experiencing. If I would have pulled these cards at this time, I wasn't ready to. I wasn't spiritually ready to pull these cards with this dream at that time, but I am now, and that's why it's happening now. Okay, I'm going to continue reading. So I'll reread what I just said. Values and perspectives have changed dramatically within you. You are now ready to be rebirthed into a new you. There should be no unfinished business, so you are free to create new opportunities and attract into your life new people who will support you. We tell the same stories about ourselves, and in doing so, perpetrate our own myth, so the wounds from the past never heal properly, and the cycle of suffering continues. Holy crap. Change your story. Watch the energy around it change. Your body will react differently too. Get it out of your system. Cleanse. Start fresh. Just like the phoenix, I'm getting chills right now, guys. Just like the phoenix, you too will rise out of the ashes. The death and discarding of the old must be final so that you can move to the next exciting phase of your life. New inspirations are born out of despair and the death of the old. Surrender the old limiting beliefs and be reborn into the newness of limitless possibility. This is crazy because, it's talking about, let me reread it here. So we tell the same stories about ourselves, and in doing so, perpetrate our own myth so the wounds from the past never heal properly and the cycle of suffering continues. I had a conversation with my one friend who I mention all the time on here. Maybe I will have her come on my next episode or an episode. Maybe we can align something if she'd be so willing to, because she's so wise. And I feel like she also has a great voice to listen to. But I had a conversation with her sort of recently. I'd say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would, and I'm saying that to my friend because I know she listens to my episodes, but correct me if I'm wrong. I believe we had this conversation, I'd say 2 weeks ago. I can look back in our messages where I talk about the things that happened in my past and how I don't hold anger for them anymore. And I talk about the situation from my mother's eyes and how she may have felt in situations. And I won't get into that. Maybe one day I will. But when I said to her in this conversation too, I've never said these things out loud. So when you say things out loud, or even like I've never said, when I said I never said these before. I never said this before. I'm losing my words here. When I told her I've never said this before, I've never even thought it until that moment. And when you think things internally or say things to yourself internally or say things externally, the universe is listening. And I think that saying those things to my friend, the way I said them and what I said, really just is what switched in my mind, because I was holding on to the things that happened in my past, and I had that same mentality about it. And when I said that to her out loud, I said it to myself and I said it to the universe, and the universe heard me, and it took that and changed my perspective, my mindset, and my outlook on life. Because I will tell you, the last 2 weeks, I've had a tremendous amount of spiritual growth. And I think that's what really essentially made it click, or made a switch is when I said those things out loud. There's so many things lining up, guys. So many messages coming to me, so many synchronicities. And again, I'm listening to them. I'm not ignoring them. I'm embracing them. And I really enjoy that I have an audience to share this experience with. And I hope you guys continue to listen to my episodes because there's so much that keeps happening. Even from my last episode that I recorded maybe an hour ago, I've had more growth and knowledge and synchronicities come to me. It's crazy, guys. It's happening fast and it's happening all at once. And I love it. And I'm paying attention. My eyes are open. My mind is open. My heart is open. My soul is open. Everything is open. Anyways, that is all because, again, I did just record an episode an hour ago. I had so much to catch up on. I wasn't expecting to talk this long considering I just had another episode an hour ago, but it all had to be said. And until next time, guys, if you aren't already following me, please do so on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and I'm also on Instagram, Dear Dream Diary Podcast. Please like and follow. And until next time, I hope you all have sweet dreams.